Welcome to PIXI Partner Up, a bi-weekly mashup of Team PIXI, where we discuss our gaming adventures, news from the industry, and how it all makes us feel. With me, the host, Ryan, and NRG Roberts himself. Okay, Luke, this week...
Hello.
We don't have Ginger Nut with us this week, so it's just the two of us, mate.
Just the two of us.
Yes, mate. The original PIXI Partner Up team.
Yeah, it was actually crying.
Which is sick. But yeah, basically, if anybody is watching this for the first time, because it's our first time on YouTube, there's three segments in which the first one is what you're up to, which is we just talk about what we've been playing, or the various things we've been playing, which would be nice for us to break down, especially because it's been quite a while since we've been on a pod, Luke, that's for sure.
Mate, yeah, very much so.
A lot of stuff's been happening in the world of Verdansk and stuff like that for us to talk about. But then we move on to Ginger Nuts news, where usually Kaylee will bring news stories to the fold and we'll have a little chat about it, but I've got a couple for today. And then we've got Rise Randoms to finish off. And of course, because there's two of us, I can't pit us against each other in Rise Randoms, so I've got... an interesting game that me and Luke played on a pod a long time ago, which is 60-second par, where Luke has to guess the amount of things that I have put as his par for 60 seconds, but I've made it 13 just for all of them.
Okay, so nice.
You've got to get 13 things in the 60 seconds every single time. But what you're up to, Luke, you fire away, mate, because of course it's been a long time since you've had your wonderful...
Blimey. Oh, where to start?
What have you been playing, mate?
Mate, well, like I did 6 months ago, it's exactly the same on Verdansk. No, I'm joking. I'll go back. I've been playing a lot of Apex recently. Obviously, spoke to you about get back into it, mate. Fucking playing it, loving it. Obviously, we've met a few of the boys now that play it, which is good. Shout out to Magnum, big boy.
Man. Terrifying.
Big. But no, yeah, mate. So Apex is good for me because I'm playing on keyboard and mouse now, so it's actually a real big change. Obviously, anyone that does know me, been a controller player all my life, so obviously switching to keyboard and mouse is a huge differentiation for me. Like I found it, I don't want to say I found it hard because I have played keyboard and mouse games, but not obviously that competitive. Like I've tried to play COD, I can't do it. Like I can't play as well as I know I can on controller, so I feel like I'm just letting myself down a bit. So I might as well just stick with controller while I can. But yeah, so I've started obviously a fresh account, fresh game sort of thing, if you will, and just started keyboard and mouse and said like I'm gonna stick with it. And then obviously once that comes along, COD might come into it because once I just start getting my aim and stuff, because it's really hard. Like,
is it not hard? So is it easier or harder with the keybinds? Like with because of course you know that it's just like you press start on Apex or whatever, or whatever your controller thing is.
I mean,
and then you've got your menu and you sort of scroll through the menu or whatever. But is it easier when you can press like F1 or 1, 2, 3, and 4?
I'm not gonna lie, obviously. Like the keyboard, once you know where it is, it's easy. It's as easy as having it there, though. Like PC players say that controller players have better aim because they've only got their thumbs, whereas a PC player has a whole arm. So obviously they're literally like controller players are mental, like they're so good. And then we say that about aiming with a mouse, like you literally point click, and that's what it feels like in Apex. Because I don't find the guns have much recoil. Especially on the keyboard, it's just like hold and it shoots straight. But yeah, with keybinds and stuff, it's nice because like you can put it in within your proximity, but like on controller, like again, I think it's just preference of what people have played for their whole life. Like I speak to like Hawkey, for instance, played on keyboard and mouse his whole life. Will play any game on keyboard and mouse, but except Rocket League. Obviously, you don't really play Rocket League on keyboard and mouse, but he's like, I just can't play it on that. So yeah, I think it's nice to have it within like literally. So where you type like WASD, you can just do that for reload, and it's just getting used to it, mate. And it's like trying to build that muscle memory of quick. And don't get me wrong, I've seen some keyboard players and they're mental. Like you just know exactly where it is, and you keybind to what you feels good. Like if you would rather use your thumb, like say for N, right by the space above it, and you know that's going to where your thumb's going to sit, you do that. But some people, it's crazy. Like you can get these little half keyboards that are just for your one hand. Yeah. So it's literally built for exactly that, getting the right keybinds. But I find it quite nice. It's a nice breath of fresh air, that's for sure. Like something different, something new that I'm learning, basically.
So you're thinking long term, you're going to sort of ease yourself into playing like everything else dedicated.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I obviously played Skyrim on it. I played Apex. I play any other shooters now. It's hard, mate. It's like I said, I've played controller for what, God knows, 18 years, if not longer.
Exactly, yeah.
So I can't just fall away from that. I know on certain games that I like to do well, like COD, I'm still going to stick with controller, I think, just because it's there, and it's a natural feel to me. But yeah, mate, if I could, that'd be sick, because I do feel keyboard and mouse is just fucking next level. You see some of the flicks they do. You can't do that on controller unless you're playing 2020. Like I said, the sensitivity goes from 1.01 to 100 on a mouse. You literally need to find what suits you. Whereas on a controller, it's 1 to 20. It's like, and no points, fours, or nothing like that. Straight in. So yeah, I'm hoping I can, mate. But it's going to be a long process. I'm getting old now, bud. 28. Getting old. Oh.
Yeah, that's it, mate.
I ain't got long left.
Those sharp skills,
mate. Literally. I never had them, bud. Don't worry.
So obviously you're talking about Apex and
a lot,
how you're playing it. But how have you found, which is something we've never been able to talk about on the podcast yet, which is how do you feel about arenas, and how do you feel about like just Apex in general now? Because obviously this is a game that me and you were really into.
Yeah, mate.
But it's completely changed since we used to play.
Mate, flipping heck. How many, like, I was saying to the Magnum, because obviously I said, look, I have played, like, I know the maps. Obviously didn't know any of the fucking new maps. I was like, oh yeah. So obviously I think we stopped playing when Crypto come out, something like that.
Yeah, something
maybe.
Like that,
So you think of the amount of legends that have come out, the differences they made, the amount of, like, they're always changing that game. Like, bringing those little updates out. Like, hitboxes obviously is a big thing in Apex, stuff like that. And I'm loving it. Like, it's so much quicker than COD as well. Like, obviously playing Warzone and coming to this, the speed difference is mental. Like, having those abilities to be able to help your team, and it brings a whole different sense for sure. Obviously, the 60 in a map can be quite slow, I find. I've sort of just contradicted myself there, but it's very quick but very slow, if you know what I mean. The gunfights are rapid.
When you get into it, but there is time between with a bit of traversal or whatever that would take you a bit of time.
God, yeah.
It's just so aggressive. Like, so when we played the other night, like, it's just first time I've played in quite a while. And it's just like it's like 12. Do you get 12 parties?
12 party, yeah.
All the time. Like, it's just anybody hears gunshots. They're just like,
you shoot to it.
Out we go. Like, and which is cool because you're always in engagements and stuff. But like in comparison to Warzone, it's a little bit more measured. Like, you know, if you take on a team, it's very rare. Like, you might get third party, but it's very, very rare that another team will come along after that. Even in like squads, you know.
Yeah, no, agreed.
Which is bad. But like, I really like the which was something I was going to bring up. Which I really like the fact that they just keep seeming to just, if it isn't broke, don't fix it with Apex. And
agreed.
They don't seem to overcomplicate things or do anything or bring anything in that's like game breaking. Like,
they listen to their players. That's one. You know, Warzone doesn't. They've got an anti-cheat, and again, that's a whole different story. But cheating on Warzone has just got ridiculous. I remember we'd be able to drop a win probably once a night if we played, and you play them 4 times a week. Now, you're literally having to sweat every I was about to say shift then, because it feels like you're putting in a fucking shift. You're like, oh, bloody hell. Yeah. If you get a win on Verdansk, you are doing well now. I feel like
Apex seems to complement Warzone really well though. Like, I think that it's just like, because it's so much more like fast paced, in your face all the time, that if you've just come from a Warzone session, but I also feel like just in turn that if you come from an Apex session, it's quite nice to play Warzone and be like, oh, okay, like I've got 30 seconds to breathe when I land and be able to pick up what I want and do these different things, maybe get a load out, whatever, rather than in Apex. Like, the only thing I struggle with Apex is just when I drop. That's the only thing.
Without a weapon.
Problem I got is because when you open a fucking chest, you get a shield, you get a fucking a knockdown shield, and like
a shotgun bolt.
Yeah, that's it, and a fucking Zambique, and you're just fucking running away from someone, and it's just like, you know, like they're real like sort of like loot scarcity just to begin with. But I like the fact that they've got those like Evo shields and stuff in it now. I think they're a great addition. But totally I think I do just want to stop off before we move on to Warzone on arenas. So how are you finding arenas? Especially so arenas who's been so heavily transfixed on Battle Royale and now playing this. Like, what's it like?
So I played CSGO when I first got the computer because I found that was the best gear. I read about it. They were like, for keyboard mouse players to practice, get on CSGO. Because you can't aim it. You only have the crosshairs. So it's very like, I don't know, diverse in regards to that. So I've found it's very CSGO-like. A lot like Valorant now. I don't know if you know Valorant.
Yeah.
And there's another one out, and I can't remember the life of me what it is. But they've got that very much buy your weapons at the start, then play you around, then do that. And I think this is, again, going to be a game type that will come in because arenas are staying for good. And I think it's great for me, it's great for like practicing my aim and stuff with the mechanics of Apex. 2, if you haven't got too long, you can jump in, you can get a game done within 10 minutes, you know, all round stuff like that. It lets you have those variation of weapons to try out quickly enough. Like, literally, we'll try that now, we'll try this attachment. Oh, I really like that setup. And I feel it's a lot more tactical than I want to say a bit more tactical than the Battle Royale, because I think like when you're a point down, because it's points, isn't it? You know, you're not dead and straight out, which Apex is well known for. You know, you can't get recovered, then you're out. You're like, oh, that's a bit crap.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Whereas at least with COD, you can get brought back. But I find it, yeah, mate, like Arenas is just, it's brought a great breath of fresh air for some of the players. I think like some of them are built for that action-packed vibe. If you want action, you just go to Arenas, bang, straight in a battle, bang, bang, bang. You haven't got to look, you haven't got to loot. You literally have everything. So yeah, I really, really like the idea of Arenas. I'm hoping, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think it will come in COD or anything, but I would like to see a ranking system in COD that Apex have. Yeah. It just makes you want to play, you know, and actually do well. Like, get out of that,
Arenas for me was like caught me off guard because I like
really
like I happened upon the update and was just like, I heard about it and was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna give this a go. And it's right up my street anyway because it sort of likens back to like we've often talked about it on the podcast, that kind of like, you know, it's that search and destroy of the boys back in the day, you know.
Yeah.
It's that kind of similar thing where you get a little group together and you do that.
That's true.
What I particularly like is it seems to be like, and I guess this would be the same with CSGO. I've not really been like into CSGO, but like it's really like, it feels like a game of chess. So it feels like you the first round is almost like to feel each other out and you see whether people are doing, and then the second round you can like and you could at different moments you can say, right, like we're gonna split, you know, like you guys go that way, I'll go like I'll solo try and flank and whatever, and then like I remember specifically there's a map where there's two buildings in the middle, it's like all broken down quite a lot. And like quite often people go up high on the buildings opposite each other,
hit the building straight away,
one of the two sides. And I like being Octane and running around the back of the guys who are shooting at us, and getting up high and like getting behind them and trying to knock a couple of them and stuff like that. But I think it's like it's that round by round, like you've got the pressure of the fact that obviously you only got one life or whatever, like sort of
that's
destroy,
true.
Like game mode, isn't it? Of that kind of like one life, you're all together, you've got to try and do the best you can. Obviously you can res each other, which is cool as well, which they don't tend to be able to get off as much in it. But like it's for me it's just really, really interesting because it's like Apex's mechanics are so unbelievably lovely, and
do you think so?
Yeah, they're really smooth, and I really like how I think it's just very different to COD. I feel like Apex is in some weird place between like Halo and COD, and it's like a bit
agreed. It's got
like a bit of floatiness about it, like Halo, but it's also got that like sharpness of COD as well. But like Halo, I would say is like a little too floaty, and COD is like, well, I wouldn't say too sharp, but COD probably for me is about as appropriate as a shoot as you can get, especially with the new engine. But yeah, I think that it's such a great addition to the game of just being able to again like complement the battle royale. So you can go in a battle royale. Like when we were playing Magnum the other day, we were like, right, we'll play a couple of battle royales. You know, wasn't going so great, and then you play a couple of
jumping arenas.
There's like, especially when I first played, I played a couple of matches where they like really down. You got to win by 2, like a game of tennis.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, literally.
I think
make it
amazing.
close. Match point.
And like it's that tactical buying like between rounds. Like I always max out R309 straight away and then run in there, and like then the next round I always buy myself like 2 guns and then try and run that. But then like you can always be really tactical and like buy yourself like heals or whatever and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, that's the thing.
It's really, really interesting. There's so much you can break down in it. And I think that like competitive gaming wise, they're huge. Like it would just like
can you imagine? Because they're quick as well. Can you imagine like group of 64 make the round to be over quick? Like that'd be amazing. Actually, that's a great shout. Actually, now you brought that up. Maybe it can make an esports thing. Apex is obviously just behind in regards of like COD and even PUBG at the moment, and I don't know why. Like it is such a good game, and like you say, the mechanics are actually really smooth. Now thinking about it, it runs really well. It's not clunky. It's
I just think that it just seems to be every time I go to Apex. I think this is the only thing I guess that I could slightly criticise it for, but it's also a good thing. It's just it just is what it is, and like every time I go back to it, it doesn't matter how much has changed or what's happening. It just feels like, oh right, this is Apex.
This is Apex. Yeah,
and I enjoy it. And the only thing that's ever stopped me from playing it really is the fact that I've not had enough people to play it with. But anyway, we'll crack on into the second battle royale, which we delve into often, which is COD. But how are you feeling about COD at the moment, the current state of it?
Oh, mate, like I said earlier, the cheater situation is ridiculous. Like I said, it is fun. Don't get me wrong. I still play it a lot, but I'm going to Rebirth a lot now.
Yeah.
I think it's because of the speed. Like we're winning quite a lot of Rebirths, but then you've got third of the teams. It's a smaller map, bit more action packed. Obviously, you can still get revived if your team stay alive. I really like that idea. And I do think now they've brought it out, like Rebirth isn't going anywhere because they get so many player base around it. And yeah, again, I don't want to say it feels like the arenas of Apex sort of thing to make it quick, snappy.
It is quite similar though.
You know what I mean? Like try to bring out
like instant action, isn't it, and all that.
Yeah, like you land and all that. But in regard to the state of the game, like it's going to be around for a while. They need to get an anti-cheat in it because that's bloody ridiculous. Like honestly, you're going in and everyone's like not missing a shot, and you're like, okay, you're reporting, fuck all comes of it. Yeah. And honestly, mate, I even still think some of the pros are using it. I've been watching a lot recently, and I'm just like, come on, like is your aim that good? But you know, it is what it is. The game state is making the money. They're getting a lot of publicity through Twitch and places like that. All the platforms, people are playing it. People aren't going to not play it. It's Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm just hoping as well with obviously the release of Battlefield, I'm hoping something comes to actually contest it because I don't think there is any competition for it at the moment.
No, it seems
unfortunately. Yeah, mate, it just stands out.
But you like the meta and everything at the moment? You like
mate, yeah, that's one thing I do have to admit. They have changed the meta a lot. Obviously, it was, you know, they've gone through all the seasons and I've played all the seasons, so I know what every meta was, you know, and it's nice to see, you know, a gun like the Milano coming through, which is actually, you know, it's all on kill time, so it might only be like that much higher than the bloody Mac 10, but people are using it and it's that extra shot that counts, and it's good because guns are switching in a lot over this season. You know, you've had the Fire, the Krig, all that. Apparently now it's...
Kilo seemed to make a comeback.
Kilo, mate, still there, mate, just because it's at recoil is non-existent. XM4, mate, from Cold War. You know, it's just, and it's good. Like, Cold you can actually... 5, yeah, you don't have to use a set gun to actually do well, you know? Yeah. I feel that there's a lot more variation and choice now to be your own player, you know? And I think that's great. And that's why I think people keep coming back now, for sure. 100%.
Yeah, which is good though, I think. You know, and I think that like, again, with Apex in a similar way, like, every time I come back to Warzone, I just enjoy playing it. And I think that, like, one thing that I have done, like, that I've eased off quite a lot from it, and I play a lot of other games alongside. I play good. Sort of storyline games, all that kind of stuff. But when I come back to it, like, I think that's the only thing that I think a player like yourself would struggle with, is because you play it so consistently, so often, that you can almost end up, like, grinding at you a bit. And I think that, like, you know, just, I think noticeably, I guess, that, like, when I've spoken to you about Warzone and stuff like that, it seems to be doing your head in a bit less since you've been playing Apex as well. And
I was about to say, Apex has been my sort of release. For sure. It's just been like, and I've done it. I'll jump on COD. I'm like, oh, guys, I'm going to go on Apex for a bit. You know, all the lads are on, I'll be like, oh, I'm just going to jump on Apex. I'll play with Rando. I'd rather play that with Randos at the time than not play with my mates, but you know what I mean? Like, because I feel like, oh, it's just a breath of fresh air. It's a different game. Yeah, different everything, you know? So it's quite nice. It really is.
I think there's lots to look forward to. Like, I think they'll bring out loads of shit for Warzone. Like, of course, they'll do a new map at some point. And,
they have to. They have to.
But, like, I just think that it's just good, isn't it? You know, and I think
of course it is. It's a great game.
Like Fortnite and like all these other battle royales, I think the concept of battle royales is always going to be something that...
They've got their own niche, haven't they? And they're going to do well at it. It's a COD game. COD have always had that following, and COD players are always going to be like, oh my god, battle royale, woo! And it was so much better than Blackout as well. So much better mechanically ran, and look at it, mate. It's got its own standalone game.
Sure.
Can't complain for sure.
And it's free as well, so it's like accessibility is really
winner. Exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that, like, in general for me, Warzone's just like I've been watching Paul play a little bit on his stream, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just been catching people play it now and again because I haven't been having as much time to play it with, like, getting a new job and stuff. So
yeah, exactly.
Like having to, like, sort of pick and choose what games I have been pouring myself into. But I'll quickly segue into the fact that, of course, I've been playing a lot of Pokemon. Just gone absolutely fucking mad for it. Like, thank you so much for letting me borrow it.
Mate, no worries. It's great. Honestly, I mean, I remember getting it.
I never, ever, ever, ever thought I'd fall in love with it like I have. And
your first Pokemon game, though, you need to get...
crazy, man. It's just crazy.
But I want to say you've missed a lot because you've, like, gone for where I... Like, honestly, mate, I'm telling everyone, like, this game is unbelievable. Like, you see the Pokemon in the ground. Like, you haven't experienced it when you run in and, like... like, the old school, like... Game Boy, mate, that's where it originated from. So for, like, us Pokemon fans seeing that come through, like, you're playing it now and going, fuck, like, obviously you've now got the release of the open world coming, like, that is that's huge, that's gonna be massive. Like, I'll be getting that for sure. But it's great. Great.
Mate, I mean, I just, like, I can't believe that, like, I've never really, like, been, like, a massive Pokemon nut or anything. Like, I was the standard kind of, I think our generation just grew up in it. You had to sort of like it in school and stuff. It was just a part of our culture, really, like, growing up and stuff. But, like, I missed the boat with all the games and everything. I guess it was just one of those things that just My parents never bought me or whatever.
That's it, mate.
I never caught the bug, and I never understood what the bug was. And it always used to remind me of when I used to see you and Goose and people like that. And like, if you dared to mention the word yellow or you dared to mention Pokemon, red. There's this weird like connection that people have where they're like, oh my god, and they just like lose it like some like, and it's just so crazy for me. Like it always was. And I was just like, I just don't get it. I just don't get what the bug is. Like, what is it that keeps you coming back to these games? Like, like when the best way to try and explain it is, like when someone who doesn't play COD or doesn't play FIFA, they're always like, oh, how do you buy that game, the same game every year or whatever? That was kind of my outsider's perception of Pokemon, where I was just like, oh man, it just seems like the same, like just the same shit. Like what's like catching Pokemon? And then fucking hell, mate, I was just gone. Just like
next level with
DLC, mate. Everything. I can't stop. I'm just like, oh, I fucking love it. I absolutely just love it, mate. And I want to play Eevee next. I want to have a go at Let's Go Eevee because Katie's going to borrow that.
Get Pokemon Snap, mate. That's good.
And actually, probably my favourite thing that I have to bring up is that I've been battling people online.
Yes.
So I battled Kaylee to begin with, and she smashed me right up, mate. But
knowing your types, that is, but
yeah, that's it, exactly.
That's it.
I've been learning
what to play.
And like, I was so proud of myself because I went from like, so Kaylee completely ruined me to begin with, and I was just nothing I could do. Like it all just felt like her Espeon or whatever it was just ruined.
Next level Espeon, yeah.
It was just crazy. But then she traded me an Arcanine.
Oh, nice.
And the Arcanine changed the whole thing, like, 'cause he's just a tank. And like, I played Chulok a few times, so Chulok smashed me the first time, and then I managed to get my proudest achievement, mate. I got a win over Chulok. And then
Jesus,
yeah, literally. So, like, to be fair to him, he swapped. Like, I think he won the first one, then I won the second one, and the third one he brought out Mewtwo, and Mewtwo was just the most OP thing I've ever played against in my life, mate.
Yeah,
so every
Mewtwo's
time,
next level.
So he had this thing where he could just paralyze my Pokemon in one go, in one shot. So
guaranteed 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just like paralyzed, and then anytime I got a shot in on him, like, so say I traded those Pokemon out, like.
Of course.
One out. I got a shot in with him. He had this restore thing, so it was just like it took me 6 Pokemon to take Mewtwo out, just because every time I got him down like below halfway, he'd do this restore thing, just got all his health back. And I was just like, oh man, this guy's
Mewtwo's
so good.
Crazy.
So next time he took out like a little bit more of his legendary Pokemon and played me a little bit more just with like standard Pokemon.
Yeah,
which was really good, and then I ended up winning that. So I think it's 2 all overall with him now. But like, it's just crazy for me to go from what I was, where literally like
I had no clue.
Ask Kaylee, mate. Like if I saw like if it wasn't Charmander, Squirtle, or Pikachu, I didn't know what it was. So I was just like, like I'm fighting a badger, or I'm fighting a mouse, or I'm just like, I'd never know. Like, I think like apart from the Gen 1 ones, like or Gengar or something like that, like they're the kind of ones I knew, or like Mew or Mewtwo. But like I would never know, like, because I've seen the movie and shit, or like
of course, younger.
But like some of the new ones and stuff, and it was just my attachment to Sobble, mate. That just like, and when I named it myself, and I just like, it's my first. I guess it's for you. It's like, your first one when you
Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Charmander. Wait till I put them in front of Zelda.
You, mate. Like I got my little like Sobble, mate. I just like absolutely fucking love them, and I just like it was because it was like my first ever little pet or whatever you want to.
That's it. That's your attachment, yeah.
It's your first
same as
like
mine's
companion.
Charmander.
It's Ash's Pikachu, isn't it? Like that's the kind of thing. But it's the moorishness of it, mate. It's just the fact that I'm just like, I want to find out. I want to go to the next place. I want to just.
It's not just gyms, is it? There's so much more.
Check out the Pokemon. I love the soundtrack. I love the game, and just like literally, like it's just completely changed my perspective, mate. Like that Pokemon game for me is probably in my top 10 games of all time, just because how much I enjoyed it, mate. Just because literally, not even for like mechanics or anything wonderful like that. Like it was just like how much I enjoy playing it. Like if you turn Pokemon onto my Switch right now, I'm just like, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Like I just like it. Which just just like it's just one of those things. I think that it's really nice because of course like you're very like variety gamer and bilingual with it, all kind of things.
Yeah.
So like you've been playing a bit more storyline games these days and stuff like that, which is really nice.
I have tried.
It's nice because I want to bring to the podcast all these different points of view and these different feelings and stuff, which is so amazing to have you on because like you give that point of view of like being able to be emotional and feel these things about like Warzone and about Apex and all these different things, but you have that connection to the older games like Pokemon.
The older games for sure, yeah. Like you mentioned anything before God knows what 2004 sort of thing. I've played them and it's.
Yeah, for sure.
We didn't have online, obviously, back then, fucking back in the days. But it's so much like that, yeah. And I've played, you name it, I've probably played it at some point, and I can,
sure. Or like
I can resonate.
Yeah, and I think like obviously you particularly have like an affiliation with Pokemon. You love collecting the cards. You love like anything Pokemon. You're into it.
Got
like,
to grow up.
But I get that now, mate. Like beforehand, it was just like, oh, you know, like and now if you got me a Sobble card, mate, I'd be like, oh, I love
I've got spare.
Or whatever.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, or any of that kind of stuff, you know, like I'd be like, oh, cool, that's that, and all cool, like, and it's just like the whole aesthetic of it and how nice it is, and I think like again, in comparison to something like Warzone, which is like it's Warzone's in like a weird place between pain and pleasure, where every time you play it, you're like, oh fucking hell, I love playing this game, it's great.
Mate, I agree.
It fucking stresses you out or whatever. Rather than with Pokemon, I just seem to just chill out and enjoy myself. Although Kelly did warn me that the Pokemon I played is very easy in comparison to the older ones.
Yeah, oh god, yeah. Like you had the like Super 6 and stuff like that. They were difficult. They were really difficult. Yeah, mate, you can get one good Pokemon on this one and you'll be fine. Yeah. You'll smash everything. You might come up against one of the gyms, obviously, where it's your weakness, but you can catch for that. Like I started with Sobble actually in Sword, same as you. Obviously, really my Interlon just fucking rinsed everything, never a problem. And then I think I struggled, obviously, against the Electric. Yeah. And I had to get a ground Pokemon. And I can't even remember who I run. But, you know, you had a type for each party, and it just ran shows, mate, around run rings around everything. But, mate, I'm glad you finally experienced it because...
Yeah, mate.
It's actually,
and it's like, I'm actually excited for the next one now. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm excited to play the older ones and give them a go and stuff, you know?
Mate,
which is sick, and I can't wait to talk to you and Kaylee about them, especially on PIXI Partner Up, because to get you guys both
mate.
at the same time and stuff. And like for Kaylee, like she wasn't like I wouldn't say she was like a huge fan of Shield. Like she really liked it, but she wasn't like a massive fan of it. But her like what she got in. Like vicariously through me just being like, wow, it's the first time, like literally.
She's got
time,
that, yeah.
Mate, the first time I ever won a gym battle and that, I'm like fucking loving.
I'm the best. I'm like, I won my first badge. Fucking come on, yeah.
Mate, fucking fit the little thing. I'm fucking.
It's coming home.
No. Yeah, exactly, mate. Literally, exactly. It's crazy. But the only thing that I've got written down to talk about is just I've written my backlog games down, and the next game I've got, so I have to try and pry myself away from the Pokemon DLC, is I want to complete the Spyro Reignited trilogy.
Nice.
I got a little bit despondent with it because I ended up just trashing through all the levels because I thought it was just about completing the levels and carrying on, and then this fucking dickhead in a blimp. Or no, in a hot air balloon wouldn't let me go to the next place unless I had enough dragons, mate.
Enough dragons and gems and all. It's fucking nightmare, mate.
All the things now, but I really like the way it plays. Like I'm only on Spyro 1, and I want to try and complete Spyro 2 and 3 because it's just something I've never done. It's just on my bucket list of games to play, but which I'll bring a bit more of. But I'm just really enjoying that as well. But should we crack on? Anything else you got, mate? Been up to?
Mate, I've been a bit dry. Apex obviously massive for me, so I'm good.
Sure.
I'll speak about my
Alright,
battle
sweet.
whales.
So that is what you're up to for this week with me and Luke, and we'll move on to Ginger Nut's News Natter without Ginger Nut. You know, do you want to do a little Irish intro for a mate?
Oh, here I am. My name's fucking Ginger Nut. I'm going to speak about my little news natter.
Oh, hello. Welcome to the news show. Welcome.
Oh god.
So I've only got 2 today, mate. So
mate, no bother at all.
All it is
a bit
obviously
dry at the moment, I feel.
One of the things that we haven't really spoken about anything to do with E3 or anything like that because we haven't been podcast. So I got 2 things to bring to you. One of them is the biggest gaming news, PC gaming news from E3 2021.
Blimey.
Just the releases. It's only releases and trailers and shit, but I just wanted to get your opinion on whether you're interested in those games. And then the second one, which I just wanted to break down a little bit, because I guess it's less so the actual article itself and more so the question that it asks that I'm interested to hear your opinion on, which is whether Xbox Game Pass Ultimate is worth it, is worth the money that you pay for it. So we'll talk about that in a second. But
I've got Ultimate,
of course,
as well.
Another thing that you know, I've made the new PIXI logo, and I've got, you know, the Switch, I've got the Xbox, I've got the PlayStation, and I've got the PC on there, mate, because you bring that, you know, you bring the PC side of things, which is really interesting. So I'm going to name some of these titles, which of course some of them are coming out on console as well.
Console as well, yeah.
See whether they're something that reaches out to you. So first off is, of course, this is from, as well, just give him credit, it's from PC Gamer, and it's by Andy Chalk as well. Nice. If you guys want to go over and check that out, which he breaks down the games a little more in depth and stuff.
PC Gamer's good, mate.
I'm literally just going to just blurt out the titles. So Elden Ring.
Oh, now this is by Amazon, isn't it?
It's by
Is it Amazon?
I can't remember who does it, but it's a Souls game, isn't it? So
well, Elden Ring. I think it's an MMO RPG.
Is it?
I must be thinking of something else, but apparently they're stopping. I want to type, but obviously we're on the pod. I'm not gonna. I'm pretty sure that they're stopping any development on it, on their beta. Now I know someone that's played the beta.
No, I think I'm not sure whether.
Am I thinking of something else?
Yeah, I think so. Elden Ring's like the next huge Souls game, effectively.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of something else then. It's something Ring that I'm pretty sure.
One thing I had to ask about that with it being the next big Souls game is because you played through it on your stream, of course.
Yes.
/NRG Roberts for anybody watching. Is how do you feel about it now? Did it intrigue you enough to be like, oh, a new one's coming out, that's something I'm going to be interested in, or is it literally just like I gave it a go, it's not for me?
I definitely read about it, and I've been chomping to go back and play Dark Souls because I think again it's one of those games that just have a following that's unbelievable in regards of like it's a bit like Marmite, love it or hate it. Yeah. And I love it. I'm just not very good at it, and I'm very much I shy away from games that I feel that I'm no good at because I'm like, oh, this is I'm not doing very well. How boring! I'm dying all the time. Yeah. But mate, I've definitely read about Elden Ring because you obviously mentioned it. I was like instantly. I've definitely looked it up because it looks amazing. Like obviously graphic intense and stuff like that. I'm all about. So I'm generally, I'll probably give it a run.
Would you? So just going forward, you think you're going to be a Souls game player now?
Ooh, I don't know if you could say that, but like if people said, "Oh, can you do
far.
this?"
You might dip your toe, but you're not like.
I'll keep playing, but not as much as I would any others. Like I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, guys, I'm going off now. Play Dark Souls for 4 hours."
No, I get you.
I'd pull my eyeballs out.
That's what I wanted to gauge because I was just interested to see whether it would be something that particularly for you would be like that. So they've got Diablo 2 Resurrected. Diablo 2 is a game that was massive.
I've never played Diablo, mate.
Because mate, so good.
It's a dungeon crawler, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a dungeon crawler, like sort of loot based, really kind of like you just smash through enemies and they come at you and come at you and come at you, and then like you get a big fucking daddy enemy at the end, and then you get a chest, and then you come back out there and get yourself another mission to go back into a cave somewhere and all that kind of stuff. But like, I played a lot of Diablo 3.
Yes.
But Diablo 2 is something that's really close to my heart because my brother Matty used to absolutely love playing Diablo 2.
Oh, nice.
Like really, really big game for him. And I've played the start of it quite a few times because he installed it on like the downstairs PC and I get to good around. And it was like my first real experience of having like, oh, I've got a new sword. I can swap out for a better sword because it's got a higher attack and all that kind of stuff. But like, I think that this is the kind of game that, especially for someone like you, likes that kind of looter.
I love looting games, stuff like that.
Multiplayer kind of games that you can run around on the map. Like you could always play 2-player on it and stuff like that, which is really cool. And you can add another character and stuff, which is great. Like I played through a lot of Diablo 3 on split screen, or it's not even split screen because it's just one screen with 2 little characters on it. Because it's like that. It's more of like a aerial view kind of thing.
Yes,
the smaller characters. But I played a lot of it at Bushan, which was really, really fun.
Nice.
And it's just one of those games I think that just, if you find someone who's doing it, like if we both went, look, mate, we'll give Diablo a go. If it's cross-platform, of course, would be in PC.
Yeah.
But like, I really think it'll be up your street. Like, even Diablo 3, mate, I think it's worth a go.
I really do. I don't get me wrong, I've watched people play it, and I want to say I have had a go on it now, but just not enough to be like, I remember this. But again, I think you're at the right street for me. Dungeon crawler basically takes out all the exploring side. You just do the like action side, which is obviously the fun part.
Yeah.
So I definitely think it'd be something I'd look into.
Yeah, sure. So the other things they've got is Outer Worlds 2. Did you ever play Outer Worlds 1?
See, no,
so
I didn't.
I played Outer Worlds 1. It's very
I remember you saying.
Very, very like Bethesda based kind of like. It's not actually made by Bethesda, I don't think.
Feels
but
it.
It's made by the guys who made Fallout New Vegas.
Yes.
And they also made Knights of the Republic. And stuff like that. So it's got that like it's very party based. So you can get loads of sidekicks and you just choose the 2 that you take with you when you go out to places and stuff like that. But like the whole aesthetic of the Outer Worlds and stuff was very like it like sort of borderlined on being.
It looks like Fallout 3 from what I've seen.
It was like Fallout, but it's a little tiny bit more jazzy, I think, than Fallout even is. Which is like it's like really like colourful and stuff like that. And like the whole world's like a little bit weirder because they're like it's all like planet based, so you go like between different planets and stuff.
Yes.
In your ship. And I just genuinely really enjoyed like Outer Worlds 1, and I think it's one of those games that I suggest for anybody to play. If you're especially if you're into Bethesda games, which of course Luke, you're only really dipping your toe into now, but like anybody who's listening, if you haven't played Outer Worlds and you're a Bethesda fan, it's really a game that I think you'd really enjoy, and it's only like 25, 30 hours.
Yeah,
it's not going to kill you. Like it's not like a Bethesda game in regards to being like it's going to take you 4 hours to get not 4 hours, 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours, 100 hours to get through, you know. But yes, and then the last one I was going to talk to you about was whether you'd be interested in playing Starfield, of course, which is like it's Bethesda's new space Skyrim, you know.
Oh my, really?
So would you be interested in that?
Now, after playing Skyrim, I would like to say yes, but then you said space. Now, I've never played many space games. I don't know if I just don't like the.
Does that fantasy appeal to you?
It's if it's like very MMO-y, I will definitely give it a go because I need to find an MMO, mate. I've got the PC and that, and I don't play any. Yeah. It's a time-consuming thing, but MMOs, like if it's a new one that doesn't need too much grindy time, then I'm definitely up for it.
Yeah.
I will look it up after this actually because it sounds interesting. Like.
It's only like a new cinematic trailer they got for it, but like, I don't think it got a release date. They'll probably say no. No, I don't think it got a release date, but it's just like it's interesting to me because I kind of flip between the two. Like sometimes I really like sort of the more fantasy, like Lord of the Rings kind of.
That's mine.
But then I'm a massive Star Wars fan as well, so like I really like the sci-fi stuff as well. So it's really interesting to me, like which one I'd prefer, I guess, because like sometimes like I really like Halo and that storyline and that kind of stuff, like that, which is more kind of like futuristic, spacey, or that's like I like the idea of like being able to travel from planet to planet, a bit like Outer Worlds, but Outer Worlds is very like on track. So like if you travel between places, I think like I'm not sure whether Starfield will be you can get in your ship and go off like
that's it, like a bit free roaming. Now that sounds decent, and again like. It all depends, doesn't it? It's going to have to perform, and the cinematic might look unbelievably good, and everyone's going to be like, whoa, and then they get into game, and be a bit like, because MMOs are big,
and it's also announced as an Xbox
well.
exclusive as well.
Oh,
but of course, because Xbox
Professor have got
PC,
of course
is on PC, it's going to be also on PC, you know. But I think that for me it's really interesting because I don't know a great deal about it, but it's the idea of a space Skyrim or like a sci-fi outer space with aliens and shit Skyrim, you know.
Very decent,
for that. Like even in just the weapons and stuff, I think would be cool. Like imagine like picking up
futuristic stuff like that.
Some shit like that.
Well, yeah, very. I don't want to say Destiny-like, but
but that is,
you know what I mean.
Kind of
like it feels like.
Sure. I think that's what you would feel when it reminds you of and stuff like that. You know,
yeah, nice.
Like, I wish it was. I'd hope if it was first person that it would like to be as smooth as Destiny. I really like Destiny's mechanics and stuff. I really like that.
Nice.
Okay, so we'll skip off that one now and move on to just basically So I'm not gonna this is from Digital Spy and it's done by a chap called Owen Goff. You guys want to check it out. But he basically breaks down what Game Pass Ultimate is, which we obviously know because we've both been subscribed to it at various points. You are currently subscribed to it. I don't currently have an Xbox, but Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. What is it worth it? Is it worth the money that you pay for it? And this is interesting specifically for you, Luke, because you're someone
because I get both as well.
Yeah,
I get PC and Xbox. To be fair, now from what I understood, Ultimate being was, like I just said, down. I think it's PC and Xbox.
Yeah, but you also get so on Ultimate you get gold as well. So you get your games
that's how I pay for my gold.
EA Game Pass or whatever it is as well. So you get all the EA games involved with it.
No, what is it yearly? I would say $89.99.
Yeah, something like that. So it's 15. I think it's £15 a month if you pay for it monthly.
Yeah.
Or it's like £35 then if you pay for it free monthly or whatever, and then it gets.
They try and make it cheaper.
They try and make it so you do it every year, really.
For me, obviously, as a user on it at the moment, I don't think I get its worth.
Yeah.
The only thing I really probably get the worth of is maybe if I play on Xbox with other friends.
Yeah,
the EA is a big one for me because you get obviously FIFA. That's a game that you can just get for free. Obviously, I already got it this year.
Yeah.
But it's a game that comes out a bit later. I can then play it. I think if you look at people that maybe don't have the money to go out every month or whatever to buy games, it's incredible. You have literally a library of games that will take you one night to download. Say if you want to do a bigger game, like mate, I've seen the newest Battlefield on there, and that's timeless. Like that game's great, and I did download that actually last year in lockdown just to give it another run. Yep. So I do feel what it's bringing is, I think Sony really have to like put something out there soon to do with it, because I think it's going to get to that point where a lot of the new Outriders, prime example, brand new game come out, it was on Game Pass for free. Have it, brand new game, 60 quid, just have it. Mm-hmm. So there's your money's worth for the year.
Out on it, all those things that are going to come out on it, all the new Bethesda titles, assuming come to Game Pass, and I think away, day and date, free. Or
Xbox
you say free, you're paying for the subscription, but in comparison to paying the full 60. But like for me, it's interesting because, like, of course, I think if you're a gamer like me who likes your story games, there's so many things you can play, like Night in the Woods and all these amazing experiences I've had on there, like Hellblade and all these games that are like really, really just like utterly fantastic for me and would be like a must play,
Yes.
But for yourself, Luke, it's a really interesting question because, of course, you pay for it every month anyway.
I pay for it monthly, and that's it. It's just like...
But you play usually your free online shooters, really. So if you actually removed Game Pass, like, would it make too much of a difference for you being like a primarily online shooter? Especially
Absolutely not.
They're also bringing out Halo, like, Halo is their big title, obviously, like story-based and stuff like that, but they're bringing out Halo multiplayer for free.
I did see.
So it's just like for you, like would you suggest for a gamer like you that just plays your online games, like whether it still is worth it because you do dive into
if you stick with one game, it's not worth it. It lets you have those choices, but there's so many, again, like you just said, free games about now. Yes, they're their own titles, standalone, they're all that. But if you like variety and you got time and you like Ryan, like playing your story games, get it. Like it's the best money you're ever going to spend. Even if you buy the game second hand, older games, you're still going to be paying 5 to 10, 4 of them add up, and you could get it for £15 a month.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth doing.
I was brutally skint when I got it as well.
Yeah.
Like, I was so skint. And, like, not only, like, if you sign up to it, you get it for 3 months for £1, which is crazy. But, like, you also, it's just, like, for if you are struggling, if it's like, oh my god, I got to buy COD for £60, I got to buy this for £60, like, COD and FIFA both come out really quick, and they're like, game prices are going up and stuff. That like, it really is so good for the value for money, and like what you're getting on it now as well. Like, just and if you're like, sometimes it's a little bit like like when you go on Netflix and you go like, oh, what am I watching tonight? And you end up scrolling for 20 minutes and then you end up like watching the start of something because you just spent too long having a look. But like if you just type in best games on Game Pass, what I used to do, and then it used to just come up with these 10 out of 10 games, and I was like, fuck it, I'll give them a go. Night in the Woods and all these different games I played there, and now like in my top 10 games all time,
massive, like
like massive for me. But I was just really interested to see your point of view on it as being someone who just plays
primarily this shooters. But like you said, with a pound thing, it's sort of like a trial for £1 as well. If you don't like it, just cancel it. You get EA as well. You think of the games EA put out, Need for Speed, you got your racing game, you got your sports games. You literally have everything at your fingertips. So like I say, if you've just started off, don't know what to buy, your best bet's probably to get the Game Pass, have a little dabble in some stuff. Sure. Great, off you go, For your kids, as well. That's going to be amazing. What do you want? Minecraft on there?
Yeah, of course, So you can go on there anyway, and you've got all these different things that you can go and download different games and do these different things at like point. And it's just like, like a kid in a candy store, you just be like, oh, I want to download this, I want to have a go at this, I want to have a go at that. That's a great point. I didn't even think about from a perspective of
a parent's perspective.
Being something that's really, really worth money.
For sure.
Again, you value money rather than buying.
You've got different kids using the same one.
It's that like they can pick up and drop it. Rather than, it's really annoying, isn't it? If you buy your kid a game for £50, they play it for 2 weeks, and then they're playing Warzone online with their mates all the time. You're like, oh, for God's sake, I bought that game for £60 for you. You're not even playing it. You know what I mean? Rather than if it's just that they've got the £60 games come out and they can play them if they want or not.
Exactly.
But I cannot wait, mate, because Kay's got a little bit of a backlog to play through with her Switch.
Nice.
She's going to play Witcher and stuff like that, which I'm really interested to hear about and stuff. But she has bought herself the newest Xbox.
I saw.
When she gets Game Pass, there's so many games I wanted to play and experience on there and stuff like that. And I think that just like for who she is, which is a little bit more of like a storyline based player than an online based player,
for sure.
That like it really will be such an enriching experience for her, and for her to be able to play through all these different games. And I think that just if you are that way inclined, if you are like looking for your short narrative games, 5 hours to 15 hours, that kind of thing. There's so many on there that are absolutely fantastic. And there's also, of course, now, which is just mental to me, every Bethesda game. Like you've got Fallout.
Well, they've
4,
brought
Fallout
Bethesda,
3,
haven't they?
You know, Skyrim, everything you could possibly want on there. It's just
they've
just
brought
madness,
it.
Man.
They're gonna have all the games coming out.
They're gonna have Fable coming out on it, the new one. They've got all
New
the old
Fable
Fables on
free.
there. Yeah, exactly. Like,
it's crazy.
It's just mental. Which I think at the end of the day, like to answer the question, for me, it's worth the money. But again, I don't know whether for you, like
for a player as myself, I'd say no. But like if you are a hardcore gamer, you just want to dip your stuff, toe into stuff. That you would be silly not to. For what you get, new games coming out, even the Fable game, I'll play that. But I have played Fable, so I've got those positives.
Like you are primarily an online like shooter player, but it's nice for you, isn't it? Especially with streaming and stuff, just being like, oh fuck, I'm gonna download this, just play it.
I could download this for free and stream it.
Yep,
people are gonna love it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because I would say that you've now started to really get through and see credits at the end of a lot of these story games, but usually you just like to just dip your toe in for stuff, don't you? Just see
literally, I play it, I don't like it, I'll drop it
and stuff like that. Yeah, which is sick.
100%.
But yes, I think overall for me that would be what I suggest. But like, it's something that is really interesting, isn't it? Of just being like, are you going to get your money out of it? And that's what you really want to do at the end of the day. And fucking hell, it's the best value in gaming, but you still want to be able to get your money out of it. You still want to be making sure every single month that you do that. And I think that if you are, umming and ahhing about it, for sure, do the pound, you give it a go.
Trial for 3 months.
Trial for 3 months or whatever. But if you're like thinking like that, then I would suggest, if I was like someone like you, for example, where I played the games that you do, is I would unsubscribe and then resubscribe when it was a big game coming up. So subscribe for a month, especially if you're short cash or whatever. It's easy if it's just coming out of your bank account. It's all good. You're happy. You can play games anytime. But especially if you're a little skinner, that you can just like unsub, play Warzone or whatever, and then resub if there's a big game like Fable that you want to give a go.
Yeah.
But yeah, sounds. That is. Ginger Nuts News Natter.
Ginger Nuts News Natter.
Oh my god, it's me news natter.
Oh, thank you, Ginger Nuts. It was really great.
Okay, right. So we'll move on to, we've got 60-second part. Which,
yes.
Or the weird and wonderful world of Rys Randoms, of course. We're going to play Rys Randoms now, guys. So
straight in. No.
Yeah. That is our Ginger Nuts News Natter, but we move on to Rys Randoms. And this is something that we've played before on the podcast, Luke.
Oh, yes.
So Luke knows the crack. He's got 60 seconds and he needs to give me, and I'm the judge.
Pressure.
Hope I know some of this because I've got some dodgy answers. You need to get 13 in 60 seconds. So
okay.
I've given you some ones that I'm hoping that you're going to know. I just need to
he says.
Get my phone up and do a 60-second timer.
White line bar.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Add timer. 60 seconds. Okay. Right, Lukey.
Mm-hmm.
Your first... Of course, you'll pause 13 every single time, so you need to get 13 in the 60 seconds. If not, you failed. But
sugar.
The first one is Apex Guns. Go.
R301, Mozambique. The P202.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
The R405.
Mm-hmm.
The Evo 8.
Yeah.
The Mastiff. The Peacekeeper.
Yeah.
The Kraber.
Yeah.
The R99.
Yeah.
The Spitfire. The Flatline. The Hemlock. The Sentinel.
Lovely. Done, mate.
Yeah.
Smashed it.
Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Right, so Luke's already he's already got one.
G3 Scout.
Second one, mate. So we'll start the timer again when I say it. Is Zelda titles. Go.
Zelda titles.
Yep.
Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Skyward Sword.
Yep.
Oh Christ, now I go downhill. I haven't played Wind Waker.
Yep.
Well, you got a Link from the Past.
Mm-hmm.
What are we
there
doing
are 27 in total.
Yeah, I know, but I haven't played all of them. Twilight Princess.
Yep.
30
seconds.
Game. Yeah, I know. What am I going on to now? What's the first one called? Just Zelda.
Yeah, but it's what of...
I know it's got something. Oh no, I'm gone. On the
10 seconds, mate. You've only got to get 8.
No, no.
I guess Legend of Zelda would count.
Legend of Zelda is one, but yeah. Mate, I've gone. Lost it.
Okay.
Got 10. Oh, fuck.
Right. So you failed the second one. You've got 3 more to go, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have 3 more? 2 more to go. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Next one is Pokemon titles. Go.
Pokemon Yellow, Blue, Green, Red. Mm-hmm. Pokemon Sword, Shield. Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire. Pokemon Silver and Gold. Very rare, those 2. Pokemon White and Black. Or Black and White, whatever way you want to put them.
Okay.
And then Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Go Eevee, Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2. I played a lot of Pokemon.
Yeah, good. Right, we smashed that.
Oh, how look at the fucking Zelda ones. I didn't even say Breath of the Wild. Oh my lord.
Oh my god, yeah, I didn't even think Breath of the Wild, mate.
The one, best game they've brought out.
Right.
It's bad.
So you absolutely knocked the Pokemon out of the park. That was too easy. So, last one, mate. Which is
God.
Games made from movie titles. Go.
Oh, Spider-Man.
Like, a game of a movie.
Does Spider-Man count then?
No. Because if you're talking about Spider-Man PS4, no.
Okay. Okay, so Lord of the Rings, the Rom Ring, Lord of the Rings 2 Towers, Lord of the Rings Return of the King.
Yeah.
Films this is actually Batman Arkham Knight.
Nope, not giving you that.
No. Arkham City.
Nope.
No. Fucking hell.
They're standalone. Although they were around the same time as the Christian Bale Batman, which was
mate. Films. Finding Nemo.
There's probably a Finding Nemo game, I'll give you that.
Oh, I could just go all the Disney films then. Toy Story.
Yeah, alright.
What? Toy Story 1, 2 and 3? They're on there, mate.
I'm not sure if there's a Toy Story 2 game, is there?
I'm pretty sure there is. Played it, mate. Games? Oh, I'll try not to.
You've got 3 seconds, mate.
Oh, Avengers. Assemble. No, I'm fucked then.
But
the
only things I was thinking of, the only things that I was thinking of in my head then was like Avatar. I remember there's an Avatar.
Oh,
game.
There is, yeah.
But fucking hell, that's a hard one.
When you think about it, but then if you actually add a bit of time, you read them off and that's been made into a game. That's been made into a game. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
but
that's decent.
There we are, mate. That is
2 from 2.
13 par, 60-second par challenge, mate. What? 50%, mate.
50%. Yeah, 2 and 2.
Yeah, 2 and 2, mate. 50%, mate. 50%.
Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it.
But, mate, here we are. We're back doing it.
Here we are.
Back on YouTube.
Back once again.
Podcast, mate.
Of course.
I look forward to, of course, hearing your Luke's Game of Giggles, which will be out next week, and then hearing our next PIXI Partner Up as well with Kaylee.
Of course.
On board as well with the with the Ginger Newt as well. But thanks so much for coming on, mate. It's been fun as always.
It's been a pleasure. Been nice to be back.
Talk. And you'll catch us in the next one.
Of course.
Thank you again for listening to another PIXI Gaming podcast, whichever one it was you chose to listen to today. We are PIXI Podcast on Twitter, PIXI Podcast on Instagram, PIXI Gaming Podcast on Facebook, and PIXI Gaming Podcast on YouTube. And our website is www.pixipodcast.co.uk. Thank you so much for listening. You're all a bunch of legends. And here's a little outro music. So enjoy.